Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be discussing the topic of Bitcoin going to $300,000. Now, a lot of people talk about this is the number that people believe that that will be the market cycle peak. It's a pretty big number, pretty impressive. I would like to see it happen, but I simply just don't buy it. Um, that kind of valuation from the market bottom is just too high. And we'll get into this briefly, and this is just an extremely generalization. There are definitely other YouTubers out there that bring more in-depth analysis on why this is the case, but just to very much simplify it for you, we're going to just use percentage moves, okay, which is the important thing. Percentage moves from market bottom to the peak of that cycle. So let's bring it out. We have at this point four cycles, okay? Four cycles. And let's take a look here. How do I get, I forgot how to, sorry, give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we have cycle one, cycle two, cycle three, cycle four. Fourth one we're currently in. I tried to get rid of the arrow so I can draw one, two, three, four, but whatever. Okay, one, two, three, and four. Four. That's oh god, that's terrible. Okay, we're out of this. Okay, one, two, three, four. Okay, this is on the BLX, so this is the longest kind of price information that we can gather from Bitcoin. So, market a market move cycle one was about a 60,000% move from the bottom to the top. Now you can you can use the wick here. I don't. I just bring it to about the bottom of the first few candles here. But even if you bring it down to the wick, it further brings out my argument, because this wick brings it down to a penny, right? That's not necessarily very um that I wouldn't necessarily say that that is the market cycle bottom for this one, but in this sense, from $30 to $3,000, we get a 60-ish thousand percent move. The second cycle, bottom, $1,168 to um sorry, what am I saying? Okay, let me rephrase that. This is not $30 to 3,000. Uh this is 5 cents, roughly 5 cents a Bitcoin to the market cycle peak, which was $30.17. And that was a 61,000% move. The second cycle, we get to a valuation of about $2.20 or so, brings it up to a valuation of about $1,171, bringing it to a 51,000% move from bottom to peak. Then we look at the third cycle, which is the cycle that I was a part of at the very end, and odds are some of you as well. I wouldn't be surprised if some people watching were also part of these two cycles, but it's more likely that you were also part of 2017, most likely, or that's when you got into it. From a cycle bottom of about $175 or so, we get it to 179. We can bring it way back down to the wick, which is 163, but even still, it doesn't change the fact that the percentage move is greatly smaller than the previous two, right? 10,000, almost 11,000% move from bottom to peak at about $20,000. Okay, currently right now our market cycle bottom was around 3,000. I have it drawn out to 3165, and to the new peak, right? It's a 1,900% move from bottom to peak to about 60,000 or so dollars. If we move it to $300,000, and I'll bring it right to the zero, okay, $300,000, it gives us a valuation of about 9,377%. That is way too close to the prior cycle. Too close. Way too close. The difference between these two was 10,000%. The difference from these from second to third is a 40,000% move. You could call it 39,000% move. Okay, the difference between this move and this move, 3,000%. I don't buy that. I doubt that it's gonna be this high. If it does, amazing. I will congratulate all of you with $1 because we'll be just congratulate you with like half a Bitcoin or something. I don't know, because we'll just be so stinking rich at that point in time. What I'm trying to say is that I am a proponent of diminishing returns. There are many YouTubers out there that also talk about diminishing returns. There are also people that talk about a $300,000 Bitcoin. I am not one of those people that talk about a $300,000 Bitcoin being around the corner, let alone having it happen by by summer or by October to some people to some extent. $100,000 to me seems way more likely. I can buy $200,000. That's about a 6,000% move. $100,000 from bottom to peak would roughly bring it to about 3,000%, which falls in line, I think, with the changes in diminishing returns from this cycle to this cycle to this cycle, and then following that to this cycle. That's simply it. You can see it in the data, and you can see it in the percentage moves. They're dropping, and the drops, the changes in percentage move is significant. Okay, pretty freaking significant. Um, and that's all I really have to say. No matter how you want to draw it, okay, whether that's from bottom to peak, how I did, or from the halving to the peak, or from peak to peak, it's it all falls in line. Or if you want to talk about this being a super cycle or what have you, again, this percentage move is going to be way larger than this percentage move, which is probably going to be smaller than this percentage move. And that's just it. And that's all I really have to say about the subject. I don't know where people are thinking about a 300% move. I am assuming it's an overlay from the prior cycle. We obviously know at this point that cycles do not have to repeat themselves. They don't have to look the same. I mean, look at the cycle we're in right now. We had a mini peak at 14,000. We have another peak at $64,000. Maybe we get another peak there. I don't know, but it definitely looks a lot different than this. Okay, which was a more methodical move up, or even this, which has had two major peaks. Right. I mean, there is a chance that we could see this still happen, but it again, it's still up for debate. We simply don't know. But with that said, the moves, the percentage moves, are getting smaller, and that's just what happens when price increases. The bottoms, the busts are going to be smaller, and the moves up are going to be smaller. That's just how it is. And when you're dealing with larger valuations like $37,000, the rate of return. Okay, so like okay, say let's do this. So this is about. Let me just measure this out. Okay, so 11,000% move or so, right? How would that look like in today's context? So we take the market cycle bottom, which is about $3,000, and we move it up to 11,428. It would be about a 360,000% move. We'd be at $367,000. If we were moving from the previous cycle, which was a 50,000% move, that would bring us to $1.7 million. Like these valuations are insane and nowhere near like I won't say impossible, but they're extremely unlikely. And I would bet money that we don't go to like $1 million by the market peak. Um, I just don't think that would be the case. And I would welcome it if we do. But it's just that not something I really buy. Like, unless someone provides me solid evidence that that is the case, that it seems pretty likely, The evidence already given on like crypto Twitter or whatever doesn't really satisfy me to that point. But that's pretty much it for today, you guys. Just a little rant about, managing expectations and just looking at just the bottoms to peaks of BLX and just look at the percentage moves. $300,000 is quite unlikely. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.